What would you do if your body was your only bargaining chip? In a world that praises purity but profits from desire, 6 young women made decisions that shocked millions. They didn't just make controversial choices. They challenged the rules and made the world listen. Were they victims, rebels, or simply women navigating a world that profits from innocence? Let's dive into their stories. Caterina Migliorini, the bold dreamer. Caterina Migliorini wasn't your average Brazilian college student. She was confident, outspoken, and determined to make a change. One day, she made a deeply personal announcement that would send shockwaves around the world. She decided to share her story through an international platform, offering a deeply intimate experience in exchange for a life-changing amount of money. She said the funds would go toward building homes for the homeless in Brazil. A Japanese businessman made the winning offer, reportedly a staggering sum. But when the deal unexpectedly fell through, Caterina didn't give up. She relaunched her plan with more confidence than ever. Critics were divided. Some called her brave, others said she was seeking attention. But Caterina had one response: "It's my body, my choice." Instead of shying away, she stepped into the spotlight. She signed TV deals, walked red carpets, and even starred in a documentary. She turned judgment into power and built her own brand on her terms. Giselle. The $3 million mystery Giselle was just 18 when her story broke headlines. Through a German-based website, she made a calculated move that stunned the world. She agreed to share a personal experience in exchange for a life-changing fortune, reportedly from a wealthy individual in Abu Dhabi. But Giselle wasn't ashamed. She went public with her story, giving interviews and standing tall in front of the cameras. "Why should I give it away for free?" she asked, "when someone values it this much?" The backlash came fast, but Giselle stood faster. She didn't see herself as a victim. She saw an opportunity to take control of her future. In a world where young women are often judged, Giselle chose to write her own ending, and she walked away with money, fame, and her story on her terms. Alina Persea, 18 and unbreakable. Alina, a Romanian teenager, had one goal: to finish college. But with no financial support, she faced a harsh reality. At just 18, she made the painful decision to share her first intimate moment in exchange for support from a stranger. The offer came from a middle-aged man in Germany, and she accepted. "I did it to pay for my education," she later said. The media rushed in with judgment. She was labeled, shamed, and criticized. But Alina stood her ground. To her, it wasn't about shame, it was about survival. She didn't lose herself. She found a way forward. Graciela Yataco, the crown of sacrifice. Graciela Yataco was a Peruvian beauty queen, full of grace and hope. But when her mother fell seriously ill, Graciela's world came crashing down. With medical bills piling up and no help in sight, she did something unthinkable. She offered a deeply personal decision to the highest bidder, hoping to save her mother's life. The amount she requested? A reported $1.5 million. The backlash was swift. Headlines attacked her, questioning her motives, but Graciela never backed down. "I'm not ashamed," she said. "I'm doing this out of love." Eventually, the pressure became too much. She withdrew the offer. But her story had already touched hearts around the world. Behind the headlines was a daughter, willing to risk it all for the woman who gave her everything. Raffaella Fico, fame on her terms, an Italian girl named Raffaella Fico, just 20 years old, wasn't struggling for money. She was already a rising model, a beauty queen, and had her eyes set on Italy's glamorous media industry. But Raffaella didn't want to wait for fame. She wanted to spark conversations, and she knew exactly how. She boldly announced that she was willing to offer her first intimate experience for an astonishing sum: $1 million. Her goal? To buy a luxury apartment and elevate her media career. The public was stunned. Some called her a marketing genius. Others said she was seeking attention in all the wrong ways. But Raffaella didn't flinch. "Why shouldn't I benefit from something the world already obsesses over?" she asked. Whether or not she followed through didn't matter. The media storm made her famous. She graced magazine covers, gave interviews, and became a household name. She didn't sell a moment. She sold a message, and the world couldn't look away. Rebecca Bernardo, love in the face of despair. Rebecca, an 18-year-old from Brazil, was facing a nightmare. Her mother had suffered a massive stroke, and the treatment costs were too much to With no support system, no job, and no options, Rebecca did something that shocked everyone. She uploaded an emotional video, explaining her situation and offered something deeply personal in return for help. The video went viral. People were shocked, divided, and emotional. But Rebecca wasn't looking for fame. She was just a daughter, trying to save her mom. In the end, a generous donor stepped forward and paid for the treatment. Rebecca didn't have to follow through, and her story became one of love, sacrifice, and courage. These weren't just headlines. They were real lives, shaped by impossible choices. Each woman had her own reason, her own truth. Some walked away with money, some with fame, but all of them walked through fire to take back control. So ask yourself, were they victims, survivors, or just women who dared to play a game that was never built for them? Because in a world that profits off innocence, sometimes the boldest move is taking control before someone else does.